The first time we tried testing our product was with Ghana Standards Authority, which failed massively.
Whoa.
I'm a big fan of trying to start something new, and to be honest, I fear competition. It's very difficult for somebody to just trust you and give you money to start business. You need investors, you need angel investors. And for angel investors, you need to be emotional. Another thing that we are also gradually diverting to is the female prisons too. Ask yourself, how do they get parts? Apart from donations, where do they get it from? Sometimes it's sad because you consider the fact that we are making a very sensitive material. It's a social problem we are solving. We are a youth-led startup. We are struggling. We are barely even up to 5 years and all those things. But we are taxed as high as those that are already in the system. So sometimes look, if it's not God or if it's not you have strong motivation or strong desire, you might just even give up. Sometimes genuine hustle is like waste of time.
So just a few days ago, Tamale social media was on fire. One young man was trending for the good works he's doing and raising the flag of Tamale very high. And we were all excited. And he has been a friend of mine. And I've been planning to have a conversation with him with regards to something incredible he has been doing. But because of time and schedules and all of that, we couldn't even have I remember we even had the conversation before he went to Morocco, but we couldn't have the interview before he went there and then he came back. But this time around, I've been able to catch him and bring him to the studio. He's a very busy guy, and I'm very excited to have him in the studio and for us to have this very important conversation with regards to startups and young people who are into entrepreneurship and how things are going for them. What are the challenges they are going through, and what are the successes they've chalked and all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one and only Fab. So that's his nickname. It's for those of us who know him, but he's called Dr. Iddi Mohammed Fareed.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time
coming.
I'm telling you.
You know what?
Yes. From sports to yes.
Right. How have you been?
Oh, alhamdulillah. It hasn't been easy, but we are just pushing.
Right.
Things are going on quite well.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And doing this with me is my regular Kenny Mama in the building.
Thank you.
Myself, my name is Prince Zamdan. And this is our startup show. Right. First of all, how did you feel when you saw a lot of people posting you, a lot of people talking about you, when you were even still in Morocco, raising the flag of Tamale and the North?
Yes. Well, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of pressure because I really didn't think it would go that far. This is not the first time I've won an award like that. Of course. But with this one, I was wondering why suddenly it went. And me, I'm the type that sometimes I like, when you celebrate small wins, but other times the way people would even raise you up, raise you high, it may even put some pressure on you. Because now you know that, Charlie, you can't even do something. Right now, even if you go and you're buying, somebody will, this guy won.
He's the one that was
that sort of thing.
I'll collect my share right after the show. I know there's so much, people will be calling you left, right, center to sort them out and all of that.
Yes.
I mean, we are so proud of what you are doing.
Thank you.
You and your partner are doing with your project. But first of all, tell us a little bit about Kodu Technology. You are the founder, you are the co-founder and CEO of Kodu Technology. Tell us what, for those who don't know what Kodu Technology is, can you let us know?
Yeah, so Kodu Technology, as the name implies, Kodu is from banana, in Dagbana,
right,
our local dialect, Dagbana. Right. In our local dialect, that's banana. And basically what we do is we turn banana and plantain waste into sanitary pads because we've realized that most people, especially most young women in the northern region, for instance, they suffer a lot anytime they're in their period. Some of them, they miss school, and others, they have no option than to use unhealthy alternatives. Some use rags, some use leaves, and so many, which is quite unfair because, menstruation is a natural thing, and women do not choose when and where to menstruate, so that shouldn't limit them to achieving certain aims in life. So, for instance, just take this scenario. Imagine a lady who can't afford menstrual hygiene materials is writing her BC. You know what happens? BC takes a week. Meaning she will have to miss the BC and come and write she'll miss the BC and just stay at home to have a period.
To prevent herself from embarrassment.
Exactly. And that's happened severally. We have people who talk on that, they speak on that, saying that during their BC, so they had to repeat the same class again. Oh. Like, for instance, we met one lady in one of the communities we visited. She has actually repeated twice just because she was unable to purchase sanitary pad. So we are looking at turning waste into an opportunity, because we know these waste, people just discard them indiscriminately. So that's basically what we do. We turn banana and plantain waste into affordable and eco-friendly sanitary pads for young girls.
And in this conversation, I actually love that young people pay attention, because it's very important. Sometimes a lot of us have ideas, but how to turn that idea into something viable in the community is a challenge. And in these series that we are going to be doing, it's going to be a learning curve for a lot of young people who, probably have similar ideas but don't know how to turn it around. Myself, I have the mind of starting something. Probably, I'll pick some, things along the line. Right. Kenny, do you have anything to say? Especially, I know you are very strong on girl empowerment
and making sure we take yes. So I just wanted to find out, when you started Kodu Technology, and even during the making process, when you were experimenting, what were some of the challenges you went through? You know, in the north, banana is not easily accessible.
Yes.
So how were you able to figure your way around it, get the materials you needed to do the experiment, and see if it will work?
Yeah, so it wasn't an easy thing, to be very honest. So the first time I got the idea was when I saw a post on social media when somebody said he's wearing an outfit made out of banana and plantain.
Fiber.
Yes. So when I saw it, I liked the whole thing. So I wanted to go and read more about why banana, why did they use it too? So when I started reading, I realized that it was a very good absorbent of fluid. It could absorb fluid for a very long period of time. So at that time, my team and I, we said we wanted to make paper.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So initially it was paper we wanted to make to reduce. And that time that was when I was selling wasawasa.
Yeah, I was about to come.
So we wanted to make paper, so at least I can turn the paper into
your
packaging.
Yes, and since it's waste, so we tried that. And my people, we are 4 in number. We started. They realized that when we turned it into the packaging, it was very rough because we didn't really have the materials to make it smooth. But we realized that it could hold fluid for a long period of time. So we were like, okay, so this is good. So this is a trait we didn't know the banana and plantain fiber would have. So we started doing further research. Then we found out that we visited a community where we were to source the waste. That was when we met a couple of ladies, especially the daughters of the farmers. We met one of them, and she said she was just at home, and it was school hours, so we didn't understand. I think one of her colleagues were passing and jokingly told her, so she wouldn't come to school and all those things. So one of my teammates, my company mates, my co-founders, she was curious and she asked why. She said, "Oh, she's in her period," and her father was even laughing. It became a very normal thing. Anytime you're in your period, that's the time that you are supposed to
stay in the house.
Wow.
So it was very, very sad. So we didn't understand. So we asked of her class. She said she was in class 6. So we were like, usually class 6 getting to GHS, these are the
crucial times.
Exactly, that you need to take your studies very seriously. So we felt like, okay, so let's try and see if we can make a banana and plantain. We can turn it into sanitary pad.
Since it absorbs good.
So initially we just kept it inside a cloth, sewed around it. Then we tested it and it worked. But now the problem was now with the quality assurance, because you can't just put anything. It's a medical device. You are putting it in a very sensitive part of your body. To be very honest, we tried testing our product. The first time we tried testing our product was with Ghana Standards Authority, which failed massively.
Whoa.
It failed massively. So, we started research and development in 2021, and we only started revenue generation in October 2024. So you can see that it took us about 3 years.
Yeah.
So it failed massively, like it just failed terribly. So now we didn't know where the issue was coming from, because they were saying that there were certain microbes inside the pad. So we're now trying to, where is this coming from? So we went back. We even had to fetch the soil. the farm in the soil, we had to fetch it and culture the soil just to find out where the issues
were
coming from. So we tried that again. And this time around, we realized that, the funny thing, there were 3 parameters which we failed woefully. Then the second attempt, we realized that 2 failed and 1 passed. Then we tried the third attempt. When we tried the third attempt, the one that passed now failed and a different one
passed.
Wow.
So now it became very, 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 very difficult. So we decided to contact a couple of lecturers at UDS. They were microbiologists. They came and they guided us. Then we're advised to go to visit Atomic Energy, Ghana Atomic Energy. So we went there, they showed us, and they told us that it was poor sterilization that is causing all these. There's nothing wrong with whatever the processes we are doing, but it was the final stage because you need to sterilize it. So the next step was we went and I remember in our trial, we took the pad. We even went to a barber shop just to try their sterilizer. We kept it inside. To see if it would work. And still, it didn't work. So finally, we just realized that it was a particular type of sterilizer that we needed to get. Unfortunately, we're part of a UNICEF program, and they provided that sterilizer for us. That was when we were able to sterilize it. And so into the first pad. But at that time, it was reusable.
Oh.
At that time, it was reusable. Now, the question was, will FDA approve reusable parts? That was the question. So we visited FDA, and FDA told us that imagine all the 3 tests, the tests we've been going through. Imagine it passes and somebody uses it and decides to wash again.
It will go back to.
The same issue might come back to it. I don't know if you get the whole point. Because once you test all the 3, it has been used. Why do you have to reuse it again?
Right. Problem.
Because
so
it gets in contact with
good. And you don't know what will come back.
And blood too.
Yes, the 3 tests were enterobacteria test. There's something we call enterobacteria. You test for enterobacteria. You test for Staph aureus. The third one is something they call mesophilic plate count. So these are the 3 tests you need to take the part through. So we did that, and we passed. But they're reusable. So he told us that we should go back, wash it, and come back. We washed it. We came back and realized that the mesophilic plate count, it has elevated again. So now they told us that this is what happens. This is the reason why mostly they don't hear. So those are some of the challenges.
I think we will get more into more details with some of these things. But I just wanted to know, this is not just as you said earlier, this is not your first business.
Yes.
I remember you have a wine something like that.
Yes.
I mean, tell us your background. Why are you getting into all of these things left, right, center?
So I read a post on social media that unemployed people, they have the best business ideas.
Funny enough.
Yeah, especially when you're hungry, when hunger hits you hard. So when I finished, I'm a big fan of trying to start something new. And to be honest, I fear competition. I always don't want to do something that everybody's already doing. So anytime I'm doing something, I try as much as possible to make it look different. For instance, when I was in UDS, I realized that people were organizing programs, and I came with a program called Wasa Wasa Walk. Because
I saw the picture.
I just wanted something to be different. I just don't want any competition that people will be like, sometimes creating something new too is very difficult.
It's very dangerous.
Because it's better you continue whatever everybody is doing than creating something new. Because when you create something new, you now have to sensitize people
on it.
So personally,
and even whether it will be accepted or not,
exactly.
is another issue.
So after I did that, then I think I was there, and there was also people. Now I was known for somebody that was who brought Wasa Wasa work. So I said, okay. So that time I finished. I was doing my service at TTH. Then I said, okay, fine. At that time, my dad wanted me to go to Accra to Noguchi, and the interesting thing is that most laboratory scientists, I'm a trained laboratory scientist.
Right.
Most laboratory scientists, their dream place is to work at Noguchi. Noguchi is a research center in Accra. And this COVID-19, they were handling. So I was posted my national service. I was posted to Noguchi, and I didn't want to go there. So my dad didn't understand. Why is it that everybody
is wanting
to be here?
Yes,
and you don't want to go?
And the thing is that I have this thing for Tamale. Anytime I move, I don't know what Tamale has done to me. I can't stay out of Tamale for even 5 days. Anytime I move away, I feel like coming back. And I don't know why. I just don't know why. I feel like things are so simple. I don't know what Tamale has done to me.
Right.
So I didn't want to leave Tamale. So I told my dad I have started a business. So he was like, what business? Then I don't know what came out of my mouth. I said, Wasa Wasa. I hadn't even started. So he said, okay, he has heard me. So he wants to see how it will go. So I created a flyer for fun, just for him to see. So when I created a flyer, I realized that it went viral and people started doing pre-order. Then that was it. I said, okay, then God has created a business for me. So, that was when I started doing the wasa wasa. So I don't know, I stand to be corrected though, but according to people, I brought the branding of wasa wasa. You know, those days wasa wasa was just the street way. So I brought the branding, adding all those. And I know now it's all over the system now. So that's what people see. I don't want to.
Of course.
Then after I started that, I was at that time I was in service. I was doing my service, and there was a lady, Bernice. Yeah, so I just told Bernice that it's like Ghana here. I think I saw an advert of a wine. And I was like, Ghana is like, they don't make any wines here. So I said, I want to do that. Then Bernice said, I can't do it. So I said, no, I'll try. So quickly, I went to Melcom and I bought wine. Then I emptied the wine. So I now had a wine bottle. So after I emptied it, I was just doing it for fun because I just wanted to prove to her that I could do it. So I emptied the wine. Then at that time, I saw a major. And I poured it inside. Then I just cocked it. So after I cocked it, it's an old wine, so I just wanted a bottle. So I removed the label, printed my own label, kept it on it. Then I posted it on social media, and it caught fire too. So, and one thing I've always been saying in all my interviews is that my Facebook friends, they've been very, 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 very supportive. Yesterday, for instance, you saw what happened. Halima.
Yes.
Halima, she got accepted to Mandela Institute, and the whole of Tamale people, they've taken all over the embassy's page. And it's so serious. If you go and even see, I'm not even sure the embassy, they've gotten reactions up to what. So that's one thing about Tamale. If you're in the right circle of the community, especially the Facebook community, they'll push you. Right. So when I did that, my Facebook friends, they took it, they started pushing. And suddenly it reached NEIP, National Entrepreneurs Innovation Program. At that time, I didn't know anything about pitching. Those I didn't know. So when it reached NEIP, I quickly called my senior brother that, Kofi Nkansa, that time he was the CEO of NEIP. He has posted me. So my brother was like, hey, then I need to quickly start working on my pitch deck. I didn't know what pitch deck was. So quickly, we created a pitch deck, and he invited me, Kofi Nkansa invited me to Accra. Wow. Then he even gave me money to start the business. He gave me some money to start the business, which I ordered bottles and some other stuff to also start. So he funded the bottles I was bringing. So I brought a lot of bottles and some other materials. I even rented a place through his support. So that was when I started the wine thing. But at a point, I had to also stop the wine thing. And because I realized, so when I started, so there was a program that came on, that was the Cosmos Innovation Center Agri-Tech Challenge.
Right.
And with that program, you're supposed to identify a problem in agriculture and figure out solutions. But the wine I was making was from corn. So even though I used a major, but later on, I did a lot of research and I started trying to extract it, from corn. I was doing it. And so when I went for the Cosmos Innovation Center Challenge, the interview stage, they asked me what business I was bringing. So I told them I was trying to bring wine to the system. So they asked me, wine from what? I said corn. So the question he asked me, that was just what changed everything. He asked me that, but what problem am I trying to solve? So I said, okay, with the corn, I said, no. Wine is good business. But he would advise me, I should look for a critical problem that my wine is solving. That way, I can be able to make a lot of money.
Right.
To attract, in the part of our world, it's very difficult for somebody to just trust you and give you money to start business. You need investors. You need angel investors. And for angel investors, you need to be emotional. Your story has to be emotional to attract them. But wine, if you don't drink wine, you can sleep. There's nothing, especially wine made out of corn. There's nothing wrong. So when he told me that, I came home and I was thinking. I even thought I would fail the interview, but I passed. So I was thinking. That was when I saw the post on social media. Then I started doing the research. Then I was able to settle on the sanitary part. So that was how the journey has been. Yes.
You said you are a trained
laboratory scientist.
Scientist. How has that influenced? All of these things that you are talking, especially your new.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
A lot, because now it's a medical device, and most of these terminologies I know them. We've been taught microbiology, enterobacterial, Staph aureus, those things also. I know them. That's really helped. Sometimes, when I was in school, for instance, I really struggled academically. I really struggled. Those who know me in UDS they'll tell you, I really struggled academically. At a point, I was even asking myself that, so why did I even do the course? But immediately I started working on the sanitary, but then I realized that everything God has prepared, God has written a story for everybody.
Yeah.
And I believe that God kept me, God influenced me, Allah influenced me to read Doctor of Medical Laboratory Science, because he knew that even if I'm not going to work in the laboratory, it will impact me in one way or the other. So that's how things, yes.
Yes.
Right.
So I just wanted to add a quick follow-up. So before you came, I was talking about the fact that apart from just being a medical you are very articulate.
Yes, yes.
You know how to speak. You know how to command the room. So I was like, why didn't you just do PR?
Yeah, so currently I'm the public relations officer of Aisha Hospital, and it has really helped me a lot. To be honest, sometimes I pretend as if I'm not tense, because my medical director, Dr. Sheila, she has kept a lot of pressure on me. Every time, she has forced me to be doing presentations upon presentations.
Oh.
So I've visited almost every institution in Tamale, almost every, to present what Aisha Hospital we have. So you see, the more you present, the more you gain more experience. And as for trainings, she has, look, every day, even as at now, as I'm speaking to you, there's a presentation slide she has tasked me to do. So Aisha Hospital has also helped me, because when I came, so sometimes when I even climb up stage to talk to people, I just assume that, I've been doing this at Aisha. So this is a simple thing. Yeah. So because I've almost every institution I have been to, Senate, everywhere I've visited through Aisha Hospital. So that's what has also helped me. And I keep learning because Dr. Sheila always asks me, go and do this. And
you have to find ways
I have to find ways of doing it.
There's no shyness. There's no, I cannot do it too.
And she'll put pressure on you. So because of that, it has also helped me. So sometimes I'm happy with Aisha Hospital, and I keep saying it that, look, I have never even envisioned, like, I've never even thought of leaving Aisha Hospital in any way. Because sometimes people will be like, are you not? No. I still believe that Aisha Hospital, there's a lot I'm learning from the facility. So yeah, I think that's it. So it's true training. I'm not trained. I'm just a social media noise maker. So when I applied for Aisha Hospital, I actually thought I was going to be a social media manager, because I told them I wanted to be the public relations officer. And I was thinking the public relations officer was just going to be about you seated at home and creating flyers and all those things. But not knowing that the work was a different thing. Look, the workload can be on you, because you have to be meeting people. You have to be talking to people. You have to take people around, talk, like it's really serious. So that's what has actually helped me to build on how I speak in public and all those things. Yes.
Nice.
Right. I think that just as you said, it's wherever you find yourself, there's always one thing to learn, one thing or the other to learn that actually helps where you want to. Get to. But then you told us the story of why you decided to go into PAD, right? Rather than any other thing. Can you tell us a bit more? Why PAD and not any other thing? So for instance, essentially, I was happy when you said that you got. You went to this KIC. And you had to think. Yes. Why PAD? Yeah. So when as I mentioned, after we saw the post, we started doing the research. So we thought of making the paper, as I mentioned. Right. But when we got to this, I'm fortunate to have two very hardworking co-founders who are females. Yeah, we are actually three. Big shouts to all. We actually wanted to have them. Yes. Because of busy schedules. Yes, and they are really they are advocates like Kenny, because they advocate for female stuff like rights and all those things, gender equality. So when we visited and we saw that, it was really sad. And according to one of our co-founders too, when she was also in secondary school, she had suffered she has experienced that too. Probably. So we're looking at, it's serious, because imagine somebody missing BEC because of that. It's going to kill the person's confidence and everything. And there are people that they may just even give up. Like, to not even, it's okay, I'll give up on, because if this is going to, then let me just stay and be doing, just turn into a housewife or just stay at home and just marry at a very tender age. And we also realized that most women today get exploited. I was speaking to one lady, she's a friend of mine, I don't want to mention her name. So she's in UDS. We're talking sometime, and she told me that those days, she actually, excuse me to say, broke her virginity in GHS, junior high school. And she said there was a man
She couldn't afford sanitary pad. There was a man that was actually getting it for her. So because of that, the man would have to sleep with her and all those things. Because she couldn't, so she told me that story. So there are people that actually, even in the unit, people are suffering from that. Like, people are really suffering. And it's a very, very, very sensitive thing. So we felt like, let's leave everything aside and let's go into this. And another thing that we are also gradually diverting to is the female prisons too. Ask yourself, how do they get pads? Apart from donations, where do they get it from? And you can't look categorically, 90% of the people in the prisons, it was just one moment of anger that has led them there. They are not bad people.
Right.
Though we know we have bad people, but somebody, just a moment of anger, the person could have controlled, and it can happen to any of us any day. So what do they do when they are in their what happens? Because they can't come out and buy.
There's no way to buy.
So those were the questions that we keep asking. And interestingly too, let's look at the Gambaga witches camp, for instance.
Yes.
The women there, how do they get sanitary pads? Because we have young ladies who are still there, who are accused of witchcraft, and they are at the camp. How do they? So these are sensitive things. And boys make fun. Like, excuse me to say, we make, it's weird. Imagine a lady walking in with blood dripping all over in class in this. It's so sad. So we felt like this is very sensitive. Let's leave everything we are doing and go into it.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Wow,
Makes sense.
And so it means that it is an idea to solve like immediate challenges young people are facing in our community. And I think for me that's brilliant.
Yes.
I want to know, at what point did you because you when you went to KIC, you said you went there with a different idea.
Yes.
At what point did you get the idea to use the Kodu part thing for the challenge? So
when during our first pitch in KIC, there's something they call pitch practice. That was in 2000, I think 2020 or 2022. There's this pitch practice. So before we got into our first pitch practice, they asked all of us to submit our pitch deck. And pitch deck is more like the presentation you used to pitch to investors.
Okay.
So they were training us on that. They guided us. So that was before we went for the first. So actually the first pitch, we came with the wine. We still presented the wine, the paper, the sanitary pad, and we present cloth made out of banana fiber. So we presented 4 different. I think it was even 5 because we added candies made from the banana fluid, the water in the banana stem. We extracted it, we made candies out of it. So you see, there's a wide range of. It's a long product chain that you can come out of the banana fiber. So we presented all those ideas, and they told us, look, you can't imagine. So where are you going? Where are you going? Because you need to just get just one particular.
Right.
So we looked through, and interestingly, we still wanted to do the paper. We didn't really know.
See the what's in how do they call it? The potentials.
The potentials, yes. Because we felt like people are selling food. When we do this, people will sell a lot to people.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
But and also books, people are, and all the envelopes and all those things.
Paper is wide.
But we just said, okay, let's just try the sanitary pad. So we got some convincing to just go into the sanitary pad. So we switched, and that was it.
And so it means that you didn't even start with a clear idea that this was where we were going.
Yes. And it happens in every startup.
I'm saying that because a lot of people, sit down and wait to have a clear picture of what. And for me, as young people, most of the people who are in business never started with a clear idea. They knew what they wanted, but they start, and then as they go on, they refine.
To keep changing.
Their idea. And for me, I'm very excited we're having this conversation because, as I said, I want a lot of young people to also learn, and probably, they might be somebody who has an idea that will change something, but because they have no idea what to do, they might be sleeping on those ideas and all of that. But this question is also very important to me. Why is it that you wanted to help young people with pad? Why didn't you use the regular material used in making pads, which is plastic, I think, but then rather you wanted to use
banana fiber.
Yeah. So those materials were quite expensive, and anything you import, there's taxation on it.
Of course.
Anything you import, there's tax. So we just said, okay, let's do what we can do locally. So that was why, as I said, we started with the cloth,
Yes.
sewing around and all those things. And also, we're looking at we have a lot of females in Ghana, and imagine every month the number of parts they dispose of is also accumulating to the plastic pollution we have around. So we said, okay, let's try and make everything of ours eco-friendly. Okay, so most of these products, the traditional products, you have to import them. They are not made in Ghana. And when you import them, there's a very huge taxation on it. Imagine just sanitary pad alone. There are about 26 different taxes on sanitary pad if you are importing into Ghana. Yes, 26 different.
I thought they have cut it out.
I've not. Yes.
We've not heard anything. If they
It's
have,
either 26 or more. I'm not too sure with the figure.
Wow.
There are a lot of
Because I
taxes
remember
on it.
it was a topical issue
Yes,
in Parliament.
yes.
And the reason is that it's one of the most used products. And that's why you see the government, they tax what is being used more. Remember, like the e-levy, because we use Momo more and all those things. And even recently, fuel, because we buy fuel and all
Every
those
day.
things. So before you tax, sometimes you need to look at an area where people, they use a product they use more. So we felt like we're just a startup. We can't do all these things. So that was when we said, okay, let's make everything locally, including the packaging and everything, make it as eco-friendly as possible. Because imagine, we have more than about 10 to 11 million females in Ghana, and the reproductive females are about 4.5 million onwards, or even more. They are more than that. Way more. So imagine each using plastic-based pad, pollution, all those things. You see, it will accumulate into the environment. And according to research, plastic takes about 500 to 800 years to decompose.
That's
So
crazy.
as I keep saying it, as we sit now, it's possible that the first pad is yet to even decompose.
Yes,
It's
still
somewhere,
there.
maybe it's lying somewhere that we don't even know. So these are the things that we considered before making our pad.
Okay, so I just wanted to add a quick follow-up. So you went through the KIC challenge. You got to the final stage, of course. You won. You got the funding.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges when it came to launching the product?
Yeah, as you know, we're fortunate that KICD funded us even during the ideation stage. And it's very rare.
Oh.
It's very, very rare. Look, imagine I come and I tell you, so out of nowhere, I tell you that I need 10,000 CD. I want to start making pad from this. It will look weird.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So people usually consider the people, they say fools, like at that stage, in quotation, because at that stage, you're not even doing anything. So why should they fund you? But fortunately, KIC, the way they ran their program is that they fund you even in the ideation stage. So when they funded us in the ideation stage, we kept using it for the research and development. So we got the ultimate prize. So the ultimate prize was difficult because you need to look out for various machines and everything. And you know, pitching is different from the actual work.
Yeah, so
When you are in a program and you are pitching, that one you are talking about, you are projecting, and we'll make 1 million, you'll make this, trying to make every. But now when you get the money, do it.
oh yeah, I see.
Sweat.
So those are the things. So there's a difference between pitching and actually doing the real work. But we're fortunate, as I said, that KIC, they funded us in the ideation stage, and they even give us quite some time. And we started, as I mentioned, from 2021, 2022, we only started revenue generation. We got our final product somewhere August, September. Then we started selling in October.
Of
Just last year, 2024.
2024,
So you can see that it took us quite
It took
a
about
very
3
long
years.
time.
Yeah.
That was a long time.
That was a very long time.
Oh yes,
Wow.
I mean, if you want to do something well,
Wow.
you get it done
Wow.
well.
But now is in the market.
It's in the market, yes.
So, like, let's talk about because already we know that there are some other probably even well-known parts in the market. What are some of the challenges you are facing as a business in the market now?
So you see, we can't challenge the competitors as of now because they are well established in every aspect, money, everything. We can't challenge them. But what we can do is we can also look at the areas, tap into a portion they are not servicing, and that's the people that can't afford. You know, when you look at pad, the way it is, as at now on the market, we have some. Maybe Kenny can even she knows more. 14, 15 onwards. We even have some as high as 45, even 50.
80.
Good. So imagine a lady in Yankpala, a lady in Chwalong, a lady in Yendi, the rural areas, and can they afford this? Can they constantly be doing this every month? Because you look at the poverty line, you look at the amount, the income, you know, it's
Minimum
difficult.
wage.
Minimum wage, exactly.
It's 19 cedis, 25.
So imagine that
pesos.
you use all to just buy sanitary pad. Is it even possible? So those were the people that we looked whilst making our part. So our focus, we can't really beat the corporate people, because the corporate people, they already know the parts they are using. So what we can do is we can focus on school-going girls, junior high, senior high. So whilst they are using the products, they will build loyalty to it, and also the rural areas too.
Exactly.
So that's the strategy we are using.
Nice.
But have you faced any resistance in the society, socially, institutionally, by trying to put this product in the market?
So yes, so in a way, but fortunately for us, the community we began, they opened their arms to us, because they are already struggling. So they accepted us. The only problem we are having is with the corporate. It's very risky, which I understand women perfectly, because it's a very sensitive area you are putting this thing. Yeah. So you need to be very, 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 very sure before you do that. And I understand that perfectly. So those were some of the challenges.
And
yes.
What I even wanted to know more about is, as in administration, trying to get certain things done. With regards to institutions in Ghana.
Okay, you mean the regulatory bodies? Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the regulatory bodies, I'll say they are doing their job, but the main challenge we are facing currently is with the ports. With the importation of our machines and all those things. The money there is outrageous. Yes. Some are we even pay more than the amount of money we've even bought some of the machines with. So that's where the challenge is. But you see, sometimes it's sad, because you consider the fact that we are making a very sensitive material. It's a social problem we are solving. We are a youth-led startup. We are struggling. We are barely even up to 5 years and all those things. But we are taxed as high as those that are already in the system. So sometimes if it's not God, or if it's not you have strong motivation or strong desire, you might just even give up. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges we face. But I feel maybe moving on, things will get better.
But what role has technology played? Because now technology is a big factor in business and in all of these things. What role has technology played in your journey as an entrepreneur?
So for now, we were able to partner Gratis Foundation, and we were able to develop a machine that converts the fiber into pseudo cotton and all those things. And also, currently, we are about to launch a project, possibly next week, which we call the Menstrual Hygiene Bank.
Okay.
So with this Menstrual Hygiene Bank, it's going to be an open bank. You no longer have to come and be sharing parts to people like that. You pour it inside the bank, and the bank will come with its own kind of coins, and it will be given to school authorities and to manage it. So anytime there's an emergency, the student will just insert the coin just to regulate it. Oh, wow. The reason for that, because we know that if you make it very open, people will somebody will come and even play around with it. Or you even see boys even in the place trying to
pick it.
So with that, we've built a technology for that, and the machines are in. But we are still just getting ready. So hopefully next week or in a week, middle of July, we should launch that. And that's technology we use. So we also we are still working on a system with IoT, where it will alert us anytime. For instance, we will put it and connect it to our phone. So anytime the bank is running out of stock, it will alert us that it's running out of stock. So we can quickly mobilize and see which donors we can get to fill the banks for the students. So that's what we are doing at the moment.
But at the moment, what's your capacity? How many parts are you able to make? How many people are you able to serve within Ghana? Do you have intentions of scaling bigger than you currently do?
So currently, because we are working on a semi-automated system, we struggle. Honestly, we make very little. So when I say little, we make just about 4,800 pieces in a week, which is quite low.
Very low.
Low, yeah. So that's what we are
considering the demand.
Exactly, because we have NGOs that are ready to partner. But the good news is that about 4 days ago, a first part of our machines, it got to the country.
Yeah.
It's currently at our factory. Wow. So we are waiting to clear the second part of it. And that one can increase our production to more than 125%. It's going to be crazy.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So even what we can make in a day with the machine and what we make in a week currently, the day with the machine will even be more than what we make here. So that's what we are looking to.
That's the power of technology.
Yes.
Of course. So just a quick follow-up. I remember the other time we were discussing, I was talking about the fact that I was still very angry that I would go to my local supermarket or just where I buy my toiletries and I still can't find Kodu. So when it comes to access markets, like accessing the market, the local market, just even take the Central BC District for an example.
Tamale, yeah.
How do you plan on working on that?
So for now, we have a couple of places where you can get the parts. We had Mickey Mats. We kept posting it on our social media. You're not the only person complaining about this.
Yeah.
Currently, we have some at Aisha Hospital. We also have some at Macro Supermarket.
Yeah.
Then
UDS.
UDS, yes. And also Joato
Yes,
marketplaces
of
too.
course,
We had some of the parts there. So currently, we are working with just 5 because we don't really have enough. But we
Capacity.
believe that with time, we'll be able to service
As
all
the new machines are
Yes, and
coming
as we are also gaining popularity too, we'll service.
Demand,
Exactly.
right.
That's good. That's good.
That's a good one. But we've heard about the bits of Kodu pad being eco-friendly and all of that. Aside that, what are some of the things that makes your pad better than the pads in the market as we speak?
Okay, so one key thing is that the pH of our pad. So in science, we call something pH meter, which is from 1 to 14. So 1 to 7 is basic. 1 to 7 is acidic, and 7 and above is basic. So if a pH falls within 1 to 7, is acidic, and 7 and onwards is basic. And water, for instance, has a neutral pH because it's exactly 7. And interestingly, our pad is 7.1. So it's close to neutrality.
Wow.
So what that happens is that in
Whoa.
the female, in the female organ, we try as much as not to cause an imbalance there. So if you put something acidic, it can cause an imbalance to the female.
Yes.
And if you also put something basic, it can also cause an imbalance there. So we try as much as possible to push it and force it into. So at the moment it's 7.1, which is slightly above neutrality. But we are trying as much as possible to see, obviously it will be difficult to get it exactly 7 like water. So you see why we can drink water and nothing will happen to us, because water doesn't cause anything.
Right.
So even somebody said, even our pad, you can chew it and nothing will happen to you because it's 7.1.
Because it's 7.1.
Yes,
Yes. So based on all this and the fact that even though your capacity is actually very small, do you actually make profits?
So it's quite difficult as a startup, you make losses, at least for a minimum of 2 years, which we are currently seeing, because at the moment we invest a lot in capital assets and also the salaries and all those things. But though we are making loss at the moment, but it's not too huge. But we believe that when the capacity comes in, we'll make, with the gross profit margin, we make close to 45%, the gross profit margin. But when you talk about the net when you consider light bills, everything in there, it's very, yes, exactly.
Making losses. But I mean, hopefully, as you are increasing your capacity,
it's normal. It's very normal because businesses even take up to 3 years before they can start making profits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
As a business, as an individual, what are 2 key ingredients that has helped you and your team to keep Kodu Technology going?
So I was talking to my dad quite recently, and one thing he said he has noticed about our team is that we are not desperate to spend money. People have heard that we are making money this and that. I know I've started, when we started Kodu Tech, there were other startups, and currently almost everybody is driving luxurious cars, and I'm still riding my old motorbike because I believe that I'm still nurturing a baby. And when it's time for it to grow, nobody will tell, everybody will see me and know that there's, yes. But we have people, that's one thing, and I actually like that thing, because for me, for instance, because of the hospital work, I'm quite busy, but I trust my team in a way that there are times I'm signatories to the account, I can see that there are some, but I know that these people, they know what they are doing with their money. That's one thing that's actually helped us. We are not too desperate. People even see us and say we are very stingy. But the point is, it's capital intensive. For instance, the machine we brought to Ghana, if you add everything together with, it's close to about $80,000. The one that we have. Now we've constructed a site. We've built our own land alone. How much is land? How much is this? We've done all those things, and we still. So imagine if I just get, for instance, Morocco, I want $50,000, and I haven't even gotten I've not brought in the second part of it, and suddenly I'm going to buy a car just to show off. It doesn't make sense. Yes, and one thing is that when the rich people or the people that are wealthy, they don't need you to know that they are this. They don't need to have this and this and that. From when you meet them, you know that these people. So that's one thing. That's one of the traits that has held us as a team. That's one thing. And the second thing is understanding. Understanding. And I always say that. I always tell the young startups, when you are the CEO, sometimes you need to be a fool. Like, don't react to everything. Even something, just try as much as to boss them. We're talking, especially like women, for instance. People don't understand women. If you are working with a woman in your company, they are one of the most hardworking group of people. Just make sure that you motivate them, you talk to them, and all those things. Don't try to challenge them. So that's one thing is understand. We all understand each other very well. There are times that they can be waiting for me to come for. We'll have a meeting at the office and I'll not even be able to come because I'm at the hospital. And they understand that, yes, he's at the hospital. But when it's time for him to do his job, he'll do it very well. So we understand each other very well. And yeah, so that's also another thing. We fight. But me, for instance, even I make sure that if we fight in the next 24 hours, let's resolve it. We are back to normal. And we try as much as possible. It's normal to fight, but just make sure that in the like when you are fighting in the heat of the argument, don't say certain things that you regret later. So we try anytime we are fighting, we fight and everybody's quiet. The following day we come back to normal and we solve it. So that's one thing that's actually helped us. Yes.
Nice.
How we've spoken about Morocco and other places. How do you raise funds to support? Are you only relying on grants to support your project?
Okay, so currently we are being tactical.
But then you didn't tell us your Morocco experience. So maybe after
we are being tactical.
Right.
So we are trying to get us, grants, it will not come forever. To get to a point, for instance, grants, it has age limit and all. It will get to a point that the grants will no longer come again.
You will no longer be a startup.
Yes. So we are trying as much as possible to raise the valuation of our company before we go in for equity. So when we get, for instance, we don't even have a fully. So imagine the time that we didn't even have our machines. We tried to sell a share of our company. We said we'll buy it for a very little. But now that we have machine, of course, the valuation of the company is going to go high. We have our own site. Initially, we rented. Now we have our own place. Valuation will go high and all those things. So we are being tactical. We are trying to get as many grants as possible to grow the business, raise our valuation before we go in for equity. So at the end of the day, you see that, for instance, 1% of Facebook or Snapchat can even go for $1 billion because they've been able to raise the valuation high. So when we also raise our valuation high, that way we'll be able to even give out a percentage share of our company for a very large amount of money. So that's the tactics we are using at the moment.
I think that's brilliant.
Yes.
Strategic. Yeah.
Yes, it's actually a very brilliant strategy because I'm looking at from like 10 to 5 years from now, what is Kodu Technology going to look like? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What is that one thing that Kodu Technology is not just going to be about pads? It's going to be a conglomerate of industries under it. What's the idea?
So we are hoping that in West Africa, period poverty is very, very, very severe in West Africa. We are hoping that at least in the next 5 years, we should be able to occupy at least half of the West African countries. And also, now that we've started with pad, we'll definitely move into diapers. We'll move to other areas. So these are some of the things. But we want to establish ourselves very well. When we get there, we can now divert into. And people are also, and there are other areas we want to go into.
I mean, the paper is still a very good idea.
Yes.
The packaging
yes. So that's the vision.
You spoke about working at Aisha Hospital, being CEO of Kodu Technology. How do you manage the two? And just as you said, you can be very busy at even Aisha Hospital alone. Yes. How do you manage, the two? So being a CEO of your own organization and also doing a regular job at Aisha Hospital.
So that's when you need to have a very good team. So my team at Kodu Technology, we have rules. So before a week starts, we are all taxed. This is your tax, this is your tax, this is your tax. Everybody, we all come in. So at the moment, I spend most of my time at Aisha Hospital. That's where I spend most of my time. But when it's time for me, and one good thing about Aisha Hospital is that they are, I don't know for now, I don't know what will happen. But then my boss is quite open. She understands just that if I need to do my work at Aisha, I should do it. I'll do it. So when I do it, I will now have, it's a bit flexible for me to go and do, because so at Aisha from 8 to 5, I close then all those. So within that same period, no, I can't be working always like that. And most of my work too has to also do with remote job and all those things. So if I'm not visiting sites to do presentation and I have free time, I can just quickly go and check up on everything. And so we have tasks. So today we listed Fareed, you are in charge of this. Longi, you are in charge of this. Mubaraka, Latifa, you are in charge of this. So we all try to do it when we are there. So I keep telling upcoming startups that they should use that system, the tax system, because
delegation.
Exactly.
Yes.
We
don't hoard everything.
Exactly. On
Only
Sunday,
me I can do.
The operations manager, like every Sunday, the operations manager should be able to tell this and this and this and this and this, and you, all of you, make sure you achieve those goals by the end of the week. So that's how I manage my time. Yes.
It tells us that it's a very well structured
business.
And for me, I think that is one of the key things in business.
Yes.
Structures help you to operate even when you are not there as the CEO and all of that. And I think that's brilliant for young people who I mean, just getting out of university and I mean doing all of these things is quite impressive. Now, I know you understand the entrepreneurial ecosystem that is, I mean, going on in Tamale at the moment. Some years back, it wasn't like that. I think you are a typical example. Some years back, probably you would have been in your field doing your lab things.
Yes.
Or a teacher who just finished training college will be. And majority of us were even teachers, training college, nurses and all of that.
Yes.
But now you can see a change in direction. A lot of young people are getting into entrepreneurship. Startups here, startups there. I mean, how does that make you feel? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm always excited when I see people doing that, but just that entrepreneurship is not easy. Sometimes when somebody contacts me, I tell the person that, look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with working under somebody. If you are going to be, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't force yourself to do something you can't do. Yeah, it's not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur. So sometimes I get excited, but once I say the person is dedicated, there's this collaboration we have. The person may go somewhere, there's an opportunity and the person will fill me in, I'll go somewhere. So that sort of partnership, it gets me so excited. And there are times that even financially, we can support each other. It's not every time that we have money. I can go meet another startup, tell, currently we don't, if you have any help. So those are the things that has been like, that's good. Like it has made me like, I'm so excited about. So with the way startups are coming, I know that there's going to be massive collaborations moving forward.
Can you tell me one, failure story? Because when people hear entrepreneurs talk, it's always about the good things, the successes. Can you tell me one failure story that can motivate somebody?
So I think I spoke about earlier on but in my first pitch, the first time I pitched was McDonald's challenge. I will not call it a failure because I came up, I was second. That was my first time pitching. So I was second, and at that time I was very popular in UDS. So the whole hall was filled with people, but I was second. I don't think it was a failure, but it actually motivated me because when I came home, I was very down because the first person walked away with 10,000 Ghana cedis. And it was organized by, I think at that time, there was this key judge in Simon Turner. So he organized it and he brought and he did everything. So the first person walked away with 10,000 Ghana cedis. So I quickly took Simon Turner's contact and I reached out to him on LinkedIn. And I told him that, look, I'm happy with the input he has, but I still want to build things. So fast forward, I think a month later.
That's smart.
I know, right?
After a month later, there was a competition, circular economy competition, which was live on TV. I got there and I realized Simon Turner was a judge in there. So he was very happy that I didn't, when I finished second.
You didn't.
So
you continued.
So there, I won 100,000 cedis.
Nice.
So
can you see the difference?
Yeah, so I saw a picture. So there was this picture where Simon was handing over the check to the lady, and I was standing behind with. This how I was standing. Because I finished second, it pained me because I was looking at this money, the things I would have done with this money.
I know,
so
right?
I stood
you
like this.
You weren't even aware that was how you were.
I held my head like this, and Simon was handing over the check to the lady.
Wow.
And so one day I just looked at the two pictures and I graded it. Simon now giving me my own check.
Yeah.
And
it was even more than the one.
Yeah, it was even 10 times. Yeah, so those
powerful story.
And the second one was also Modern City. I went for a program at Modern City. It was a pitch. It was very embarrassing actually. So it was a pitch competition too, which I went and were 16 in number, and they needed just 10 people. I pitched very well, and when the results came, I was the last person. So
Like you were number 10.
No, the last
16th.
16th person. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I did it because when I finished pitching, everybody was like, "This is
Wow,
good."
wow.
Yeah,
This is
like
beautiful.
wow.
So I was ready to. I already started writing the post I was going to attach. And
You like this.
you know that, and the sad thing was that
Right.
there was a lady who came to me that night to help her design her pitch deck and everything, and I was so hard on the lady because she wanted to do it this way, and I said no, do it this
like
way.
this.
But in the end, she did it the way she wanted, and she was part of the top 10.
Oh, see you.
So, and I brought her to the place. So when I picked her, we were going home. It was very awkward.
I know because they're like,
So,
have you been telling me? Look at
Yeah, so now the lady to be like, because the lady saw me as somebody that was already doing that
in
thing.
the system.
Yeah.
Then she came to me. I designed the pitch deck for her, but our issue was just the problem statement. So she wanted it the other way, and I wanted it this way. And I told her, no, this way will not. She said, no, she'll do it this way. So she told me she'll do it the way I wanted. And on the D-Day, she came and she did it the way she wanted.
And she got it.
And she got it. So my friend was like, by now the lady would be like, oh, this guy, he doesn't even know what he's doing. So, it was sad. So when I finished, when they mentioned his 16th, look, I didn't know whether I was just seated behind like that. I couldn't even walk out of the room. So quickly I called a friend to come and pick me up. And look, I came to the house, I complained. And that was just along the line before KIC, our first pitch. So after I finished that, we went for the first KIC pitch, and I think at that time we won $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so immediately that happened, I told my co-founders that I'm not sure I can pitch. It's like I have some bad luck, because these are two competitions that I'm not sure I can pitch it. But they just said, okay, I should give it a try. So when we did, we won $2,000. Yes.
And now, just recently, you won 50,000.
Hey!
And it has been back to back.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, we are proud of what you guys have been able to achieve and all of that.
Yes. So I just wanted to add like a little follow-up, because I mean, we are talking to the youth and we are trying to really encourage them when it comes to the startup ecosystem. So I would like to find out what is that one thing you like to say to innovators who have the idea. They know that this idea can solve a problem, but they are so reluctant.
And are probably afraid,
Yes.
you know.
So they should consult, and they shouldn't care about what people think about them, because
Bam.
if you die today, people will forget you. People forget people easily. So just consult, get the right people, get the right role models. Like me, my brother. He has been very, even till date. When I need something, I ask him. Before I even make a post on social, what do you think about this? What will people like? I mean, how would the investors take this and all those things? And they are like, I consult him a lot. That's what people, they don't feel you know everything.
Thank you.
Yes, when you meet somebody, there's always something that someone knows that you don't know.
Exactly.
So that's the key thing. Me, I learn a lot. So even for instance, when I went to Morocco, though I knew that it was a competition, I knew what I could do. I made sure I humbled myself to learn a lot from my other, and they really helped me. Because they helped me, because I know it was a competition, but I still felt like these people are people that they are experienced people. As I mentioned, they've traveled all over. They are big boys and all those things. I made sure that I humbled myself to learn a lot. Until date, I still even contact. I have a friend, Abiola. I met him at the competition. I still contact. Look, anytime I see him, I get excited, because the guy, anytime, any conversation I have with him, it's more like, Charlie, it's a valuable conversation I always have with him. So as an entrepreneur, you don't know, there are people. Look, and to be honest, I've met a lot of people, but you see, anybody you meet, there's always something a person knows that you don't know. Exactly. So always try as much as possible, humble yourself and listen and understand things. So
and ask questions.
And ask
don't
questions.
Act
Exactly.
Like you don't know what's
Yes.
And here's the case: you even won the
yes.
You know, I mean, we're excited about that. How can people support? I mean, your project? How it, like, you know, we are a community. We want to support our own.
Yeah. So the network, they should invest their networks. So when they hear that maybe this company, they are planning on embarking on this menstrual hygiene, they can always suggest Kodu Technology.
Exactly.
And when they see any opportunity online, they've been doing that.
Yes.
I can just wake up and I'll see this thing, message request on Facebook. Somebody's not your friend. I can see somebody sharing a link with me to apply for something. Like I remember one guy sent me, I went to a UNICEF program, and I met one of my Facebook friends, not knowing he sent the link to me, and I didn't even realize he was the one. So these are the things that they can help.
The link for the grants?
For the grants, yes. So when they see opportunities like that, they can always share. Me, I'm very open, and also they can always invest their networks. Anytime they hear that somebody wants to embark on this and this and this, and they feel Kodu Technology will benefit, they can also help us with that.
I think I just wanted to chip in some. I remember going for a menstrual health conference in Accra. And it was organized by the Orange Girl Foundation. They were talking on menstrual hygiene, period poverty. Right. They've even gone so well. They've done a infographic, they've done animations to teach in the local language on menstrual hygiene. And I said, no, if I'm not here, it's going to be a minus. I said, no. I'll find my way and get to Accra and go for that conference. Only for me to be there, I'm talking about Kodu. They're like,
wow.
There's something like this, because the part they shared at the end was, I think it was Ohima. This it's one of these new ones on the market, but then no, it wasn't Ohima. Reflow sanitary pad. She's been very active in the Accra system, but then I'm reading the ingredients and it's made in China. It's made in China. And I'm like, I understand that she's trying her best. She has probably very good sponsors who are making sure that, but she's not even producing it in Ghana. She's producing it in China. So I said, no, if I can find a way to just weave Kodu into that conversation.
We really appreciate.
And they know about, look, some of me, they know me already. Once
I've been seeing your aces. You've been, last time I texted you and I told you I don't know how, thank you. Because it's not only us, you've been, I think everybody I meet, they keep saying it, that you are very, very supportive. Yes. Look at Chef File's program. She took it personally. That was my first,
yes, I think one of the things one thing I've seen in Tamale is that when you do it together, just look for that one person to tell you that you got this, you can do it. The person would push more than anything you can imagine. Because the immediate environment, you can see there's a lot of negativity. Nobody wants to encourage you. It is, you can't do it. I didn't they tell you cannot do it.
And if you also look at the way the fraud is in Tamale is growing, sometimes genuine hustle is like waste of time. I remember my little brother won $2,000 too, and when his friend told him that's his keyboard, his
money for his keyboard.
Why is he jubilating over $2,000? And they are age mates. They are barely even 25 years. And he won $2,000, and his friend told him that's the amount of money he paid for his keyboard for his iPad. So you see, so I told my brothers, I told him that, look, they're in a different world on their own. Tamale is spoiled. So if you are somebody who is hustling like this, and you go and mix yourself with people into the fraud and all those things, you always feel like you are not doing your best. Exactly. But if you're amongst your colleagues, just look at how you welcome me here and all those things. Like, it will make me feel good. So imagine if I what's like, what's
how much is 50,000?
You understand? Like, so those are the things. People will be excited. But if you go and mix yourself amongst other people, so that's, as you said, there's a lot. It's difficult. Because those days, if not because the fraud and all those things in the system, like I'm telling you, even 2,000 CDs would have is big money.
It's money.
But these days, look, you see what is going on there. So I keep saying it. We are divided. So just make sure that you position yourself.
Yes, and relate with
people that But if you go and mix yourself in forget even $100,000. We have people 18-year-old, 19, they've defrauded people of huge amounts of money. So those are the things.
Fareed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But are you open to, in case a young entrepreneur wants some insights, just to, help them go through one or two challenges? Are you open to?
Yes. Right. I have a lot of people that they're on my list. Yes. I have a lot of them that I've created a broadcast list, and usually I share opportunities with them. And there are lots, because I always believe, I keep saying it, that there's a startup you help today, you never know. They may go and they'll push you to get your first $1 million. I have a lot of people that I help, and like us and so for instance, there's a startup like this lady that was doing a very wonderful thing, the Kulikuli lady.
Yes,
I really like she's doing so well. So for instance, if she and I we collaborate, and she probably gets the opportunity to travel out of the country, and maybe she goes there and an investor is looking for somebody to invest in, she can easily
definitely.
So we need to so exactly. So those are the things we try as much as possible. Every startup I try to to get closer to them. Let's share ideas. If I need something and all those things.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Kenny, I don't know whether you have something to add.
No, yes. I just wanted to add that
Right.
I am extremely proud to be here today to witness it. I don't think in my wildest dreams I would have thought somebody would be so intentional about women's health.
Wow.
Look, sometimes you'll be there, you do research on some of the materials that we wear. They put lead in some of the things we wear. Chemicals that are so harmful that it will get to a certain age. If you don't have one cancer, you have one fibroid, you have one, and somebody just decided that, you know what, this should not be the way we should go.
Right.
I want to solve this problem and liquefy better for. So I just want to say a very big thank you on behalf of all the females. We will keep pushing for you. We will keep copying and pasting. We'll keep sharing and we'll keep using Kodu.
Wow, thank you.
And to young entrepreneurs, you've heard him. I mean, it's not all rosy. You have to start somewhere. You have to fall. You have to, stand up and continue to fight. And if you really want it, definitely you are going to get it. Today he's doing very well with Kodu Technology, and you can as well. He's not special than any of you. So just put your mind to it, and you definitely get to where you want to be.
Yes.
My name is Prince Hamdan, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. We out.
Bye.